This is NR2003 Predicts. We take the entry list of NASCAR's top 3 series, send them through the ratings algorithm, and see who comes out on top. Here's a few tidbits to know heading in. The driver ratings are updated race by race to reflect the performance of that driver throughout the season, as well as at that specific track in recent years. The races are at 100% length and use normal tire and fuel wear. The starting lineup will match the real-life qualifying using the provisional starting order, not the one that includes drivers heading to the back. The weather will match the real-life start time data, and commentary will match the real-life scenarios, not the standings that will be posted at the end of the video. And as always, this series is for entertainment purposes only. Using artificial intelligence and using the results of this race for gambling purposes is discouraged. On our way to the Cup race, we take a look at Friday night's truck race, won by Brett Moffitt. Ben Rhodes coming in at second, Sheldon Creed, Sam Mayer, Zane Smith also up there inside the top 5. Seems like the top 4 will remain intact. Matt Crafton not quite able to get that top 10 finish, and also those must-win drivers not being able to pull it out, with Moffitt grabbing 2 of 3 races this round. And in the Xfinity race, Ross Chastain's going to get across the line first, in front of Chase Briscoe, and lock himself into that next round. AJ Allmendinger, Noah Gragson, Austin Cindric also inside the top 5. BJ McLeod and JJ Yeley having some nice days and some troubling days for those Joe Gibbs Racing drivers. Riley Herbst and Brandon Jones each having issues that set them a few laps back. And now it's time for the penultimate race of the 2020 season. Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr. leading the way here at Martinsville. One race to go before the championship at Phoenix. Brad Keselowski trying to hold his spot. Martin Truex Jr. trying to find a victory. Might be his only way in. Average finish-wise, 9.3 for Jimmy Johnson leading the way here. 9 victories at this racetrack. Still looking for that walk-off here in his final couple races. Right now, not that far up in the grid. Martin Truex Jr., the winner of the last 2 events at this track, and trying to make a move to the inside of Keselowski for the lead. Truex getting those 2 victories in these past 2 events and looking for 3 in a row here at the short track. And he's going to be able to take the lead away from Brad Keselowski, although it looks like the 2 cars are going to stay in contention. Kyle Busch was able to break that curse of the season and get that victory at Texas last week, or should we say Wednesday, but he does have plenty of top 5s here at this track, trying to see if he can get himself 2 wins in a row. Keselowski trying to work his way back underneath Martin Truex Jr., but he's got a tire problem. We saw several tires going down yesterday, and it looks like one's going to go here for Keselowski trying to work his way in. This could be detrimental to his points advantage. Meanwhile, Chris Buescher going up in smoke pretty much a lap later after that. Jimmy Johnson able to go by. Denny Hamlin, a driver that's trying to hold on to the points advantage that he has at the moment to the cut line. Plenty of top 10s at this track, and he's going to have to try to bank on that in order to make sure that he gets this great season going for him. A shot at Phoenix. Joey Logano trying to work his way up, but he's getting held up a little bit by lap traffic. He's going to lose 5th spot to Chase Elliott. He's one of those drivers that already locked themselves into the championship by winning at Kansas. We see here Hamlin is trying to work his way underneath Martin Truex Jr. for the lead. This will be big for him if he's able to get those stage points. And more problems here, as that's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. going up in smoke just before the end of stage 1. He's going to try to get it back to pit lane. He's caught in a lot of traffic here. But we're going to see at the end of the stage, it's going to be Denny Hamlin getting to the line first. Erik Jones able to work his way up in second. Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick also there in the top 5, along with Matt Benedetto, followed quickly by Chase Elliott and Joey Logano. Martin Truex Jr. is actually going to win the race off pit lane. That was obviously their first caution of the day, and they were able to get their pit stops taken care of. 19 car was able to get out in front. See if he can grab that victory. Kurt Busch would also pretty much need to win here, and he is not looking good for that. He is at least a lap down at the moment, and he is not able to get by some of this traffic. This looks like the end of his playoff run. Alex Bowman also trying to work his way up, but it looks like he's a couple laps down as well. He's had some issues under the caution. This is going to be detrimental to him trying to get those points. He was in 5th position in the points, tied with his teammate Chase Elliott. Keselowski's also trying to work his way back up. He's a couple laps down after that incident we saw with the tire. Had to go to pit lane, get that taken care of, but now he takes himself out of a chance to win this race. Denny Hamlin trying to work his way up toward the front. He's going on the underside of Chase Elliott. Oh, and there's going to be problems here in turn 1 as Brad Keselowski gets into Martin Truex Jr., turns him around in turns 1 and 2. Joey Gase also up there near the wall. I think there's a little bit of contact possibly with the 6 car, but ultimately no big hits there, and we should be able to keep on driving. Kevin Harvick out in front, Denny Hamlin in close pursuit. We see the 4 car is starting to pull away from the crowd as he's trying to make sure that he has a points advantage as well. Doesn't have the victory in this round, but still very dominant. He will win the stage, followed by Hamlin. De Benedetto gets to 3rd. Truex Jr., Chase Elliott rounding out the top 5, and Joey Logano into 9th position. Truex Jr. once again winning the race off pit lane. He is really taking advantage of these pit stops and trying to see what he can do to get that victory. He is going to have to beat some drivers out because he is not in the position he needs to be right now. Oh, but problems here coming out of turn 4. Chase Elliott goes for a half slide. The caution will fly. I believe that Christopher Bell and Alex Bowman actually made contact. Sent the 9 sideways, but no harm, no foul necessarily. They will keep on driving, but it will result in a restart. We're going to have some more problems here in turns 1 and 2, and that's Matt Kenseth getting into Joey Gase. And there's going to be a big mark on the side of the 42. And as they're coming in the pit lane, 95 is going to go up in smoke. That's going to be unfortunate for that team. Just one race left to go for them in their tenure. Truex Jr. takes the restart, trying to hold off Kevin Harvick. Oh, but look at this. Big dive down in turn 1. Truex Jr. overshoots the corner, and the 4 car headed to the front. 19 really needing to get back by him, but problems here. Denny Hamlin getting into Daniel Suarez in the 11 car. Gets into the wall. And similar to Kenseth, he's going to have a big gash on the right side door. And there was more problems behind this accident as Bubba Wallace slid up into the wall and Austin Dillon plows into him. And that's going to send the 3 car out of the race. And I think that was a little bit reactionary to the accident that was happening in front of him. We take the restart and Harvick tries to pull away. Getting through some of the slap traffic, and 22 and 19 just a little bit behind. And now they're trying to make a charge up toward the front. Harvick up high, Logano down low, and Truex Jr. trying to hope that they start to battle each other to the point where he can get by. Logano is in, Harvick looking pretty stout at the moment. Meanwhile, we see the damage on the 11 car as he is trying to work his way in. He is staying within the top 5 at the moment, although he's getting passed up by Chase Elliott here. Going to lose a spot there, and Alex Bowman just doesn't look like he has anything left to give. He continues to slide backwards. Doesn't look like he's going to make the championship 4. Martin Truex Jr. not looking too great either. Even though he's there in 3rd place, it's not going to be enough for him to get into the top 4 if he can't get that victory. Here we go for the white flag. Kevin Harvick out in front. 9 victories so far this season. Looking for 10 and a chance at a 2nd title bid. Martin Truex Jr. has slid into the 2nd position. Joey Logano still in 3rd, but they are too far back to do anything for Harvick. Coming out of turn 4, the 4 car is headed to the championship for 10th win on the season. And that is a big win for Harvick. He is looking for that momentum heading into Phoenix. Operates a little bit like a short track despite being a mile long. Harvick out in front as we look at the leaderboard. Truex Jr., Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin. All chasers in that top 5, although Chase Elliott doesn't look like he did enough to get himself into the championship 4. Brad Keselowski there in 7th. It looks like he'll just have enough. A great comeback after having that tire problem. Kurt Busch there in 17th. It's not going to be enough for him. Obviously, he was in a must-win situation coming into this race. That is not going to cut it. 4 laps back. Kyle Busch, last week's winner. Wednesday's winner, whatever you want to call it. They're in 11th spot. Alex Bowman, 6 laps back. He was not able to make up any ground. 23rd position for him is going to drop him from the championship battle as well. And looking at the final page, a lot of those normal back markers, but then we had those drivers that dropped out from incident or mechanical issues. Austin Dillon, Christopher Bell, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Chris Buescher all dropping out for one incident or another. That is it for NR 2003 Predicts. We hope you enjoyed the race, and we will see you all next time.